So I want to tell you a story about momentum. I was a late bloomer in life for many things, one of which was riding a bike. Hey, hi, hello, Debbie. I think I was about 8 or 9 before I learned how to ride a bike properly. And before I could ride properly, my father, who'd bought me this bike, used to hold on to me. And as I was riding along, he would just balance me. And I kept telling him, don't let go. And I'd be going so fucking slowly that the bike would just be wobbling from side to side, and I was increasingly fearful of falling over. And I would keep saying to him, don't let go, don't let go. And he told me to kind of pick up speed. And so I began to pick up speed, and continuing on to him, I said, don't let go, don't let go. And at one point I reached a particular speed that he just let go. And the bike actually began to stabilize due to the speed. And I was really annoyed with him at the time, but it only lasted for a split second because the momentum of the bike moving at a certain speed actually kept the bike up straight. I realized at that time it was the thing that I was fearing the most, the speed, that was going to give me the balance I needed. I needed to have momentum for anything to happen. Undoubtedly, the hardest part of embarking on a new project or starting a new routine is the beginning. Why is that? Well, it's probably because as part of the overall process, you represent a stationary object, one that is yet to be put into motion. You haven't done anything yet. You're still not doing it. Why aren't you doing it? You're effectively suffering from a kind of figurative inertia. See, momentum is the strength or force gained by motion or a series of actions. Where there is motion, there is momentum. Actions, no matter how big or small, put you in motion, and it's that motion that drives momentum. And that momentum is its own special force. Think of it like compound interest in a way, in which the improvement of your actions or behaviors increase iteratively over time at a certain percentage, but in an additive sense, such that each time it improves upon a larger base metric. So not only does procrastinating before starting something push back the date of commencement, it also squeezes the available time that momentum is afforded to work its magic. So if we're at the beginning of a new habit or job or project, in order to get momentum, we need to start. Starting the thing you're meant to be doing, even in the smallest way possible, is always the first step to gaining momentum. Once you actually start doing the thing gets easier to do. You become used to doing it and hopefully better. You might get feedback on your efforts or even be inspired to explore new horizons with that exercise. So the smallest of gains in the right direction make every subsequent action easier. But how do you start when something feels so overwhelming? Let's take the example of journaling. If you wanted to start journaling every day, it might be more beneficial to attempt to create a habit whereby you wrote 1 or 2 sentences at a specific time of day without worrying about writing pages and pages in one sitting. Make the start small but regular. Over time, you find that those couple of sentences turn into a paragraph, then a page, and who knows where that ends. But crucially, if for some reason one day you can only afford enough time to write a sentence, you don't feel like you've failed to stick to the routine. And seeing as it began with small increments in the first place, you won't feel discouraged to write anything because you can only afford the time to write something short. As long as you're doing something, you maintain momentum. This is summed up perfectly in the following 4 words. Results inspire continued action. Results don't necessarily mean completing the task, but continuing the effort. This continuation drives momentum, which can be like supercharging your output over time. So when I was learning to walk again with prosthetics and I was in the rehab ward, for quite a while I was walking with one wardsman underneath my arm. And I remember this one time specifically when I was walking around the grounds of the hospital, and he was holding me underneath my right arm, and I was walking and I started to pick up speed. And as soon as I started to pick up the exact amount of speed, I was immediately taken back to that moment on the bike when I was young with my dad. And I knew exactly what I had to do. And I remember turning to the wardsman and just saying, let go of me. And as he let go, the speed at which I was going and the momentum that I had moving forward, I walked for the first time
without assistance on prosthetic legs. It was the most liberating moment of my young adult life after getting out of hospital to be autonomously walking on prosthetic legs. Since that day, I've never had anyone assist me with walking.
Every now and then, I can feel myself losing momentum in life, and that's when I know I need a change. And it's not that I've stopped all action or motion. I'm still doing things every day, but I can feel the cumulative effect of that momentum is waning. And in this instance, I tend to make a slight change. Sometimes that change can be the need for reinvigoration of my interest and dedication to the path I'm already on, and sometimes it means I'd be better placed finding a new path altogether. It could be a change in work environment, it could be a change in routine or habits, or a new approach to a project. Anything to reinvigorate momentum and kickstart the cumulative effect that having momentum can provide. This episode's quote comes from author Zig Ziglar, who said, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great." Quite often small or iterative tasks or habits appear so insignificant in the grand scheme of any particular effort that our commitment to these small efforts seems inconsequential. But nothing could be further from the truth. Any project completed, any habit developed, any successful business, fulfilled career or strong relationship is made up of numerous and crucial parts, each as important as the previous. And all these efforts had to start somewhere. So stop wasting time watching my shit and go. Do. That's all from me.